Seems like the longer DC Comics goes on, the more cosmic beings seem to pop up. Beings that are literally fundamental forces of reality. They explain it like this: in the beginning of everything, there was magic. It was raw, then a rich, burgeoning light of possibilities surrounding the still forming multiverse. Eons later, some would call the domain the Spirit of the Gods. You know, this same map that I show a lot in my DC videos, talking about the cosmology of the DC multiverse and stuff, the Spirit of the Gods. This is what this panel is referring to. It begins when life was new and the first beings dreamt of the impossible. From that incredible light, the first magical being shaped herself out of the cosmos to play in a realm of sheer possibility and delight where any thought could be made real. This being started manifesting itself, and this is not the being I'm talking about. I'm talking about the opposite. Upsidedown man is a being the complete opposite of this being. This same being, even since she wasn't alone in the dark, beneath the spirit of the gods, there was a darker other place tied to a darker other multiverse. Yeah, there's more than one multiverse in DC, by the way. Since I'm talking about Upside Down Man, it's got to talk about how she is. As she formed from the light, he formed from the darkness, upside down, staring up at her like this. She was frightened. She created a barrier beneath her feet to hide him away. She did not want her beautiful realm of possibilities sullied by horror. So he was like gone, and she gave humanity magic to delight and astound them with possibilities of the world around them. She got a name. Humanity grew, beliefs grew in tandem. Each pantheon tried to win her favor, each believed in their own creation, blah, blah, blah. She's like the literal embodiment of magic, and he's like the polar opposite of her. But when it comes to this being known as the Upside Down Man, how strong are we talking? You get more lore on his power here, on how Hecate and her magic is every incredible possibility. He is every terrible one. You were her opposite and she hated you. And we just getting started on this type of cosmic being. He's the type of being that, where even powerful beings like Swamp Thing, even in his giant form, can't even overthrow his power. Notice how he's here and the environment seems to be warping. You know how in fiction everything has like a living embodiment of something? You have a living embodiment of the universe. You have a living embodiment of darkness. You have a living embodiment of magic, pure magic. You have a living embodiment of chaos or dark magic, one can say. These is what these beings are. Like, imagine these beings chilling out here above time and space, doing their own thing, and they're the ones that govern how magic, well, she's the one that governs how magic works, setting all these rules so other people like Dr. Fate and Zatanna can just use one of her fundamental forces or just use pieces of her for attacks. Or any other being in the multiverse that wants to use magic, it's because of these beings technically existing. The living embodiment of it, the goddess of magic, Hecate, stuff like that. Upside Down being the dark side of Hecate. Got sealed away because he was tripping, because he was too dark, type of thing. You get it? Horror itself. If you're one of those unfortunate people that have magic in your blood, literally, like the demon's blood, he can remove it and torture you that way. He even haunts Zatanna about her father and stuff of that such. Yeah. Similar to Helllord type characters, you not want to fight them in their own dimension or dimension sphere or multiverse. For Upside Down Man's case, they stated his magic is strong here, his other place. He's implying he is literally magic itself, saying you cannot beat magic itself, like conceptual type archetypal stuff. Here, he is limitless, infinite. He takes this shape so your minds can even comprehend him. This is a common thing that powerful abstract type beings do, because when beings are this big outside the God sphere, they're bigger than the entire multiverse. It's implied he's like this as well. Your brain can't perceive his true glory. In this other place, they even talk about how he was in prison. He infiltrated and infected this empty void of space. I am the reality of this other place. Literally stated to infest this place with your own reality. Notice how they keep bringing up the spear surrounding the dark multiverse. Like they're implying the spear like similar to this because of the word God spears here they've already mentioned. This other place is so big it surrounds the dark multiverse. Like, how is your place so big? Like, this is a multiverse. They're saying it surrounds the dark multiverse. Like, what? You know how Swamp Thing, I've explained in my Swamp Thing video that he's powered by this thing by the green. He's kind of like the living embodiment of the green. As long as there is any green in the universe, he will survive type of thing. But there's also other parliaments. He's being aided by the other parliaments other than the green, like other parliaments like the red, the white, which is the sky, the ocean, all that other type of parliament type stuff. And the best he can do is temporarily bind him for a second or two. Their plan was to defeat him this way by changing the very reality of this place. But of course, this ain't going to work, especially in his own realm. There's no point in even going over the list of different abilities he got. I mean, when you're magic itself, of course you got energy blast abilities. Not to mention the fact he's an event type character, taking on all the Dutch Justice League Dark members. Powered up Wonder Woman, Dr. Fate, Zatanna. Of course, he has super strength, taking all these beings on, including Dr. Fate, all the magic people, Wonder Woman amped up by Hecate, showing that he truly does live up to the cosmic being status. Just to let you know the stakes that's going on with Upside Down Man and stuff, talking about there's beings that are battling with enough power to create a universe. Upside Down Man and stuff, having this kind of power makes sense. That even is an oversimplification, I would say. That's like extremely low end, considering he has a place that surrounds an entire multiverse. They even use terms like ripping reality apart, which are vague, but yeah, it kind of gives you the scope of how these cosmic beings actually are. Even things about Diana, she doesn't even know about. He can sense, obviously, because of his cosmic type of awareness, mystical sensing, anything magic related. They say here, I think it's made out of living magic. When they try to harm him, you can't really, because he's like literally pure energy. That's why all these attacks like this was kind of useless, because they didn't really do any damage. He just kind of reformed again after the attack was done, bruh. He doesn't have to be in the other place to be a beast. Even withstanding John Constantine's best blast and the way it was described, he compared the attack to attempting to throw a bucket of ocean water into a tsunami. There is no hope for your kind. And this is when this happened, when I showed you that earlier. More accolades for him, talking about how you won't hold Upside Down for long. Kent, even with reality itself warping around him, his magic is potent. It draws from the source. Even Nabu is like, nah. One thing I can say about the other place, if other magical users come in there, it can kind of disrupt them a little bit, because he's used to being the only being there. Despite what I just said, Dr. Fate gave it everything he had, and Upside Down Man was still able to withstand this ridiculous attack. They were even ripping apart an entire dimension in the Spear of the Gods. The reason why they was able to push through is that because he actually started getting weaker. Magic itself wasn't going to cut it. The power of willpower was, yeah, I know that sounds cliche. The power of friendship, the power of will was actually the key. Even Upside Down Man was like, what? Believe. They explain it. And what is magic if not the power to change reality with belief? They pretty much proven this is kind of like a weakness for him. Other magicians can infect his own reality with their own magic, their own belief in a single idea. Yeah, they get kind of deep when they actually explain all this. Zatanna even went inside of his head and had like a tug of war type battle, mental battle, of willpower type battle. Upside Down Man has minions, or one could say extensions of himself that'll come back to him if necessary. They're just horror shows. And apparently he's linked to the Great Darkness. Yeah, this darkness that they're referring, they're implying the great evil beast was only a sliver of the power. Since Hecate and Upside Down Man are pretty much two sides of the same coin, whatever she can do in just raw power output, there's no reason why he shouldn't be in that same ballpark or range at his full power without being weakened, of course, without even necessarily being in his own dimension. They're both magic itself. Look at the picture of having them on string. Since Hecate exists within the Spear of the Gods, an archetypal place where only cosmic beings that are higher than three-dimensional exist. So to give you guys an understanding, look, they're literally bigger than reality itself. They're the reason magic exists in the entire DC multiverse. They're too big to fit in one area. The rules of magic and why people all up in here in infinite different realities can use magic because of her being born from magic and him being the polar opposite. But that's none of my business. What do you guys think? Do you think these cosmic beings can get quite ludicrous? Do you understand the concept of them actually being bigger than a universe and they have to fit in another sphere that's actually outside the multiverse for them to even be able to exist the right way? You guys get that? Without them, magic technically wouldn't exist in DC. Without them, all that magic you see wouldn't exist, but that's none of my business. But I also have to give a quick shout out to those that took the time to donate to the channel. Helps out a lot, believe it or not. Respect Upside Down Man and Hecate technically. I'm glad you are enjoying your time on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see other How Strong videos. If you like what this channel is offering, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later.